All right, y'all. Well, this is super fun for me. This is my first time being with you guys for kind of an entire session, and I'm really excited. This one is called What to Expect, if you saw that on your schedule. And the reason for that is we're just going to kind of lay some expectations groundwork for this week, but also for kind of the whole summer. I know that with 170 new, and I just want to reiterate, for 170 of you, you're almost in the majority. Like, that is incredible to have that many first-time people here. I am so, personally glad that you're here. And it's just incredible. So, but with that many, I know there's, can be questions about what all this even is, and so that's what the purpose of the next, 30, 35 minutes is to kind of explain. One thing that I want to let you know about, if you've been here before, is that we've typically, during these sessions that happen during the day, we've had some notes that go along with the sessions. And my hope is that you continue to engage and listen, but sometimes I think fill in the blank, you might just fill in the blanks, but not necessarily engage with what I'm saying. So this year, what we're going to do is, instead of doing go along with us, we're going to give you notes after the session that are kind of like a summary of what happened and what was talked about in the session. You still have notes pages in your binder. You're more than welcome to take free notes, but you're going to get session notes after for the rest of our sessions. This session notes are actually already in your binder for what to expect. And they're in there just because it kind of has some ground things that are good and that are helpful and that will help us have a great week together. So just wanted to let you guys know that right off the bat. Some of the stuff I'm going to talk about is not that fun, and I'm not that old. I just turned 22 the other day, so I'm just a couple years older than you guys. So I really do like to have fun. There's just a couple of things we've learned when we get to 440 people in the same place, that everyone will have a better week if we just do these things well together. So that's what I want to go over, and then we're going to go over just kind of some things for the whole summer as well. So to kick us off this morning, I was just thinking, hey, what could I share? How will we make the next 3 days? We're through 1 day. How will we make the next three and a half days really great together? And these are the three things that I just want to talk about. I think we will have. We don't have many rules here at Bootcamp, but we will have a much more fun and memorable week if we do these three things, okay? Again, I don't love talking about this, but I just think it's really helpful, and I'll give some practical examples of that. So if we respect everyone, if we respect every person individually, I am grateful that every single person individually is here, and you should be grateful that every single person individually is here with us for the week. So if we respect everyone and their own person, if we respect everyone's stuff, this is a really big one, but it's just not cool to get your stuff messed with, right? It's a bummer when there's stuff on your sheets or towel disappears, any of those kinds of things. So if we just respect that and say the reason I like hanging with you guys is because you're basically adults, even though age-wise people would say otherwise. We can just have normal conversations whether you're 7th grade or senior, and this is just one of those things that's just not that cool. It's just really not. And it could potentially, the half second of a, dude, did you see that? Could go and turn into ruining someone's week. And just trust me, you don't always see it, but this is my 8th year at camp, my 3rd or 4th year being on the staff side of it, and I have seen a lot of tears and frustration over stuff because their stuff is messed with. It's their person, okay? So me just not going to do that. A leader stuff, a friend stuff, another cabin stuff, and I will be friend, cool, chill, this entire week unless that happens. I'm going to me and the other adult leaders and the college crew and the interns are not going to be fun, cool, chill, and have a fun time if we mess with other people's stuff, okay? So that's just off the table, like cabin pranks and stuff. It's just not an option. It's not going to happen. Last year, I know it was first year, I didn't speak to it. That's my bad. And so this year, I'm going to, okay? So we're just going to respect everyone's stuff, and that just can't happen. And then the third one is just everyone's experience. And so this is just a good lens. We work so hard. All the people you just saw up here, your leaders, people sacrifice, so that you come and have an incredible experience. But we also do it so the person next to you has an incredible experience, and the person on the bunk below you and above you and beside you in the shower, all that stuff, that they have an incredible experience. So if you just prioritize their experience and they have a great time, then I promise you, just trust me if you don't, that it will be more fun and more memorable if we do those things together. Does that sound good? We good? Cool. I want to give you guys a couple of practical things kind of along those lines. And as well, just to make sure we're all in the loop. So the first thing is what cabins we're in. So we are in cabins 2 through 11. Okay, there is another camp here. They're super cool. They're called Liberty City. I think they're from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. They have about 80 or 100 students here with them, and I don't know, 20 adult leaders or so. So they're super cool. So, but we're not in cabin 1 and we're not in the barracks. So that means that there's no reason to go to cabin 1 or go to barracks. Okay, we just can't be in there. If we do practice time or whatever, we can use the common areas of places, but we can't go to cabin 1, we can't go to the barracks, okay? So we're not in those places. The other thing, if y'all saw on the door when we walked in today to the cafeteria, it's like Camp 75, go to the left to get food, and Liberty City, go to the right to get food. I just clarified with them, that's for the food distribution. So you can like go in, go to the left all the time, get your food. You can sit in whatever area, because like we don't all fit on that left side, and I made sure they knew that. And so they're on board with that. They're just like, yeah, just get your food so we have the right amount of food for you and the right amount of food for Liberty City. Is that cool? So you go to the cafeteria, go to the left. All meals, go to the left, get your food, but then you can sit wherever it is that you want to sit. So that's on cabins that we're in. This one is tough because I get it, but I just want to speak to it. So music is awesome, so listen to it, but again, just like respect everyone's experience. If there's just like something in your cabin that's like, maybe like your 4 best friends are good with it, but like someone else in the 30 or 40 or 50 person cabin is not, like just go to the next one, okay? You've got like, you can listen to it wherever you want, like elsewhere, headphones, whatever, but it's just everyone's experience. If there's something that someone's not comfortable with, y'all know what I'm saying with that. Just go on to the next one for me, please, and your leaders. You'll just make everyone's experience better. A couple more things. Just cell phones. Parents always ask us this, you guys don't, but they're good. Like you can have cell phones whenever, take pictures, post stuff, hashtag Camp 75, wherever you do it. A captain may be like, hey, like we're away at camp, like let's disconnect and like let's be together for this team time. Or small group leaders might say like, hey, like let's leave them in the cabin, like be together. I would say like respect that, like that's a good time. It's like valuable to disconnect because we don't do that very often, but like you're totally good to have those. And then last, like please be on time. We started this session about like 9 minutes late earlier, and it's gonna push us back like 30 minutes pretty soon. It's just the way that camp time works. So please be on time. Your captains have to know where you guys are at, okay? If you need to go to the nurse, like that's good. Like let your captain know and you can get to the nurse. There's something else. But other than that, like a captain has to know where you are at all times. And that's all that I've got on those practical things. So if you have questions on any of that, like how camp runs, that's like kind of the not so fun part. I wanted to get out of the way up front, but I just know that I'm serious about that. Like I'm usually like, yeah, have fun, but I am serious about those things, about respecting people's experience, because I genuinely care about everybody's individual experience, not like certain groups or pockets of people's experiences. So with that said, I want to give you kind of an overview of like what we're actually doing this week. Like you might even say with 170, like why are we here? Like what are we doing here? And so Jordan's going to actually answer that in like a big picture way on our last day together. I'm going to answer it in kind of like a zoomed in way right now. And show you some of the things that we get to do together, some of the things we're, all that kind of stuff. So I'll start with maybe the most fun for you. The first one is free times. So free time is 2 to 5 over the next 3 days, and there's lots of options. So I just want to share what most of those are. You also have a list in your binder of the free time options, because I'm not going to hit on all of them right now. But here is some of those options. So we have out at the lake. So if you go out around, like follow this road around to the right, you'll find the lake. They got all the like big lake stuff and all that. We'll have adult leaders out there, and they have lifeguards on duty. So we've got that. I think the pool might be up right. Yeah, pool. So that's super cool. It's right here. When you go out to your right as well, and there's like pool, slide, volleyball, basketball. Super fun there. The next one, the rec area. A lot of you guys have found that already, but it's like back out behind the auditorium. It's a couple full basketball courts, soccer. I think the jungle gym thing is open. It has to be manned by them. So basketball courts are like always there, but that thing has to have their staff. So I think they should be staffed 2 to 5. A couple more. Volleyball courts are right out there as well, right next to the rec. And then you have another one, and the rock wall that's also in the jungle area as well. Another cool free time thing that we're gonna have is on Friday, on our last day together, we're gonna have an optional Q&A for session 6. And so what that is, again, it is totally optional, and Jordan, I think we'll unpack it a little bit more have an opportunity for some questions. But we just started asking some questions last night. They were just kind of like big, like life questions, like, hey, like, where are you on this? And if you want to hear more on that or have that unpacked a little bit more, that's what this session is going to be for. We started it last year for the first time. It was really cool. Again, not mandatory, and it'll just be for the first like 20 to 30 minutes of that free time. It's not the entire free time. It won't probably go even an hour or anything like that. But it's just a place to go, hey, get in a little smaller environment. You won't be asking them live. You'll be submitting them ahead of time. And then Jordan and I think Jeremy Edelin and myself will be up here to kind of unpack some of those. So that's another free time option just specifically on the last day. And I think you'll have an option to submit some of those questions later today. So theme nights is the next thing. Did y'all have fun last night? Yeah, that was cool. Hey, those talons were incredible. Y'all, dang, y'all are awesome. So our 4 themes, y'all know this, but have a blast with these. Bring your own theme. Tonight we got Colorama. Small groups going to be going at it. We got some new things for you this year with that. That'll be really cool. Country Club, Yeehaw, and Yachts. We got country, we got prep, we got golf, and then BCL, Bootcamp City Limits on Friday night is going to be freaking cool. So just get excited for those every single night. Yes, get excited. On that note, we have, if you have medications, this is the next thing. If you have medications with theme nights, if they can be taken before theme nights, do it then. If it's one that like has to be pretty close to when you're going to bed, as soon as the theme night's over, like it's theme night, snack, medication, cabin. It's not like theme night, snack, medication, take a shower, change all that stuff, then go get medication. Okay, so just like right away after the theme night, get snack and then go do those meds, so that Misty's not like calling at 11:30 trying to figure out where y'all at. Okay, and y'all know who you are if you have those. A few more practical things. Meal times. So we used to like switch these around and got it kind of confusing. We'll just do meal times like this. Breakfast, since you're about to go to a small group anyway, sit with your small group in breakfast and hang out, and then you'll know where each other are at. For lunch, feel free to sit wherever. You can friends, teams, small group, other people that you're with, like that's totally free to sit wherever. And then dinner is just a great time to connect with teams. You're about to come over here anyways. You have to have your team before you come into the auditorium. Okay, so we're gonna figure out how to check that tonight, but it's super hard to track down. Once you're in here and it's dark and we don't know where you're sitting, it's super hard to find people. So captains, take that seriously, that you're gonna have to have your team before you go to the night session. But it's like dinner's at 6, ends at 6:30, night session's at 6:45. So like you could just be together those 45 minutes and alleviate any issues there, but stay together, okay? Because it gets dark and then things get tough. So it's breakfast, small group, lunch, sit with wherever, and dinner is sit with your teams for that, get to know each other better. And a few more things, and then we're gonna get to what we call our first model camp. So if y'all are on a model camp, have y'all gone already? No, okay, if y'all are on a model camp, y'all head back, meet Jamie Kim behind these curtains, so y'all can get ready. Probably have it about like 5 to 7 minutes, and then y'all will be up here in not too long. Give them a second to get out of the way. My bad. So coming back to that question earlier of hey, like why do we like do boot camp, right? Like why are we here? To answer that, essentially, like you think of Camp 75, you like signed up for Camp 75, right? You can kind of think of your summer in like 3 different parts. We have boot camp, Camp 75, and then the celebration, all that, which we call Summerfest. And so boot camp is, of course, where we're at right now. And boot camp is really an opportunity to get ready for Camp 75. The main goal of it is for us to go and be prepared to do Camp 75. And Camp 75 is really, in the broadest, most general sense, the way that we love our city 75 minutes at a time through the summer. Right? It's the way that we love our city 75 minutes at a time through the summer. It started about 10 years ago as a way where we would go in and we would put on camps in homes, and we'd get driven to those, and we would do those camps, what we know as a traditional like Camp 75. And it has grown to a lot more than that. We now love our city in ways with connecting through nonprofits and going to homeless shelters and Alzheimer's care and people in need and serving them in lots of different ways, because we said there's incredible needs with sharing with these kids and loving on these kids, but there's a lot of other needs that we can meet too, and we're going to do that. And so it's grown to a lot more than that. But one of the still core pieces of that is putting on incredible camp experiences. When it's someone's first experience, kids are going to a Camp 75, and you guys are putting on that camp. So a lot of this week is devoted to making that incredible. So there's a couple things on the schedule that will look familiar if you're a returner, but we're going to do them differently. So it's going to kind of be new for everyone to really, really, really prioritize that camp experience and put on great camps at Camp 75. So one of those is we have these on the schedule, practice times. So in the past, it's been like, hey, go practice with your team, make sure you're good and all that kind of stuff. But, Tanner, if we could actually flip, let's jump to run-throughs, and then practice times will make more sense. We have practice times. We also have run-throughs. And so what a run-through is in a second, we're going to watch a model camp, and we're going to watch them come out and put on what a Camp 75 would look like. So we're going to have our captains show us what that would look like. And then traditionally, if you've been to Camp 75 before, we would go and you'd practice that, and then tomorrow morning we'd have a run-through where you would go and you would do the Camp 75 for someone who's kind of evaluating you, giving you some feedback, and helping you get better. A lot of times, though, what happened, and I get this, is we would do a model camp, you'd have 1 or 2 practice times, and then you're like, I just really don't know enough to do it well, so I'm gonna kind of read my binder, be a little shy, try my best, I'm not sure in the morning, and it's not a great camp experience, but it's but we've got 2 or 3 weeks, we'll figure it out before we go to Camp 75, and that's fair. I would say the same thing. But what happens when you do that 3 times, it's okay, I think that's what a Camp 75 looks like, and then we kind of carry that into Camp 75 when that's really not what a Camp 75 should look like. So instead this year, rather than doing 3 run-throughs, we're just gonna do 1 run-through, okay? So that should be exciting because we're just doing 1 run-through, and it's going to be on our last day. But what that means is that the expectation is that it would be a really, really solid run-through. This is a no-binder run-through. This is not I'm going to kind of work my way through it. This is this run-through, we're going for it. And the way that's going to work, so the way that we're coming behind you on that, is our practice times that we do have are going to be all dedicated. All of those are going to be dedicated to the day 1 model camp. So how this week is going to work is in 3 minutes, they're going to come up, you're going to see the day 1 model camp right here, and then you're going to have 4 practice times over the next 2 days that are all dedicated to that practicing what that day 1 camp looks like, and then the run-through will be that day 1 camp, okay? You will still see days 2, 3, and 4 up here over the next few days. You're just not doing those as a team. You're only doing the day 1 run-through. And so there's 2 reasons for that. One, I would say the first day at Camp 75 is the most important. I'm okay saying that. That first experience of, are the kids going to come back? Are they going to do this again? Are the parents going to come back? Is based on how well you do that first day, how you engage them that first day. So that's why we're going to do it. And then also it gives you guys the time and energy to make that great and feel what 1 great camp looks like rather than what 4 mediocre camps look like, okay? So I know I trust y'all have plenty of time to get it and to make that camp really, really good. And really all of this is geared around prioritizing the camp experience. We just really want the camp experience. Someone shows up, opens their car door, steps out, a new mom, never heard of Camp 75, doesn't know what Northpoint is, more importantly, hasn't stepped into church before, and they're trusting you with their son or daughter for 75 minutes, right? And they may sit there and hang out with you, they may not, but we want to provide an incredible, we're using that irresistible word, an irresistible experience so they can come and say, dang, they were ready, they wanted me to be here, and they love me. So a lot of our sessions of stuff we're going to be doing this week is prioritizing the camp experience and trying to make that really great. So we are going to, the first way that we're going to get there is with our model camps. So again, our captains are going to get us every single day. They're going to show us what a camp would look like. So sounds like they're coming up. Cool. With that, I'm going to take a break for a few minutes. You're going to watch a model camp, and then I'm going to kind of unpack some of the things that they do in terms of how to do a great Camp 75. So y'all go ahead and give it up for our model camp. Huh? So a few things that are new or different if you've seen Camp 75 or been a part of it before. We really want the kind of hosting to be more together. So the storytelling, to have 2 people bouncing off to each other. And actually, our ask is that those 2 people stay the same for the 4 days throughout the week. So Aaron and Teresa, if they were on a team, they would be doing what Aaron and Teresa did all week long. And the reason for that is we want to make sure you guys are in a spot where you're equipped to do what you're good and what you're best at. I know that we want everyone to take a step or 2 or 10 outside of their comfort zone. But I know for some of you guys that you might be like, that's just so far, like I'm just not going to get there. But some of you guys, that might be right up your alley. So for 2 of you guys, in terms of the storytelling, the bouncing back and forth, for actually that to be consistent all 4 days. Everything else is free. Even on your schedule, it says the intro says captains. We're comfortable if you guys do other things other than that. And then just know that it also says on your schedules that the games and songs are the exact same all 4 days. That's just because we want you to have the freedom to choose. So you have a list. I know captains do. I'm not sure if it made it to all the binders, but at least captains have a list of all of the songs and games in the back of their binders. And you guys are free to place those, and we'll be singing those and doing those throughout the week. One thing that I do want to talk about, and it's good for me to be reminded of because I'm personally not great with kids. They're great, but I'm not great with them. So this has been really helpful, and just kind of breaking down like some of the really practical things to do when you meet with kids. Some of it's, I've reworked some stuff that we've done from the past because I just think it's so helpful, added in some new things. And so we just want to go through this with you guys. And again, I think this is something that's already in your binder as well. So to start, kind of the 4 ways that I broke down, like, hey, how do we do a great job of engaging kids at camps are this. When we greet, lead, listen, and connect with them in a safe way. So connecting with them when we're greeting them, connecting them when we're listening with them, connecting with them when we're leading them, and then connecting with them in a safe way. So I want to go through some kind of highlights of that real quick. And for this first one, for greet, I'm going to make sure you guys know the people that you're sitting next to because I want you to deal with them too. So the first one, connect when you greet, is by greeting the kids first. Connect when you greet by greeting the kids first. The reason this is important is when you get out of the car, if the first thing you do is say hi to the host home, say hi to the adults that are there, the kids see that, and they don't think that is like just normal social things to like say hi to someone else. They take that as like that person's more important than me. And so the first thing you do when you get out of a car and you see a kid is like, that's the first person that you greet. And you do that by calling them by their name all week long. So that's not the next one you have on there. You have high fives. Do you have calling them by name all week long on there? Maybe not. You're going to call them by name all week long. So what I want you to do is I want you to greet someone next to you or around you, a couple different people, and use their name way too much. So just right now, like say hi to someone around you, say hi to someone behind you, and use their name like way too much. All right, bring it back up here. So, bring it up here, bring it up here, bring it up here. I don't want to go to those things. I'm not good at this. 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. There we go. Had to do it. So actually, I don't know if y'all knew this, but I'm big into like business books and leadership and culture and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of things that say in the first 15 seconds that you meet someone, you should use their name at least 3 times, which is uncomfortable when you try to do that, right? So it's like, hey, Kaylee, like, nice to meet you. And you say, like, it's great, Kaylee. And then you say, like, Kaylee, like, and you ask her a question, right? Like 3 times in the first 15 seconds because 1, you remember their name, and 2, like we love to hear our names as people. Like it makes us feel good when someone knows our name, and so we love to hear it. So that's absolutely true with kids too. Like use their name too much, and we usually have name tags for them to help with that. The next thing is high fives, high fives, high fives. Kids love high fives. Turn to like everyone around you and give someone a high five. It should be high fives all week long. All week long. Hey, the next one I have is getting down on their level. When you greet a kid and you're down on their level, it's just like, hey, I'm not like bigger than you, superior to you, better than you. Like, I'm with you. I'm your friend. And so when you get out of the car and you greet them first and you call them by name and you give them a high five and you're on their level, you have done an incredible job greeting that child right off the bat, and you're starting off in a great way. And then finally, or 2 more, treating each kid like they are a celebrity. So just giving them, like, if a celebrity walked into your camp, the amount of attention that you would give them, giving that to each child. And your teams are 6 or 7 or 8, and you might have bench warmers / new name called walk-ons, and we'll talk about that later. But you have enough people to go and treat these kids like they're celebrities individually. And then lastly is be attentive right off the bat to the mood of each child. So the reason that's important is you might show up and the kid has already gotten just yelled at by his parents. Sometimes they're in a great mood, but they don't like hide that. You can know right away. So engaging them where they're at is really important when you greet them. When you're leading with them, I'll move through these a little bit faster. Have fun. Like, kids just learn best when they're having fun. I don't think it's a kid thing. I think it's a people thing. So, like, if you are genuinely enjoying yourself, and that means, like, enjoying being there. That doesn't mean, like, enjoying because you're laughing, like, with your friends. And there's another one on this, but, like, that's not the enjoying, but, like, enjoying the opportunity to be with them for 75 minutes. It's not that long to be there. Enjoy that and have fun, and they'll see that. Be silly and exaggerate and interact. Just do that. I was going to give an example, but it wouldn't be good. I'm not good with this. Number 3, let the kids win. Some of y'all know who you are when you're like, you beat the kids every time. It's just bad. Like, just don't do that. I don't get it. The kids are mad at you. Everyone else is looking at you like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you just beat like a 4-year-old. Just let the kids win, please. And the next one is learning the story as if you're in the story. So I think Teresa and Aaron did a great job, but like really like bringing that to life, because like as you're going through and getting ready for that, if you're one of the MCs or you're one of the hosts throughout the week, if you learn it as if you're in the story, it'll feel so much better. The last 2 on this section is talking to the audience and making eye contact. So a lot of times what will happen especially when we have 2, is we'll end up like this. And we'll go back and forth on like whatever it is that we're talking about. We're doing this little skit and it's great and we're going and we think that like they're all listening. But like the way that this works is I might start and say Erin, if she's there, and then say the rest of the line, like shoulders, everything, like directly to the kids, right? They know I addressed Erin, so they know I was talking to her, but then it's like back. So it's just like a look, and then it's like I'm talking to her, but I'm talking really to the kids. Okay, so that's like really important in terms of gauging them. And then eye contact is just important. And getting on their level helps. So when you get down here on this level, it's so much easier to make eye contact. If you have a kid that's kind of doing his own thing, making some noise, being a problem, it's so easy to just kind of like walk over to him, get down, not even say his name necessarily, and just like talk with them, like you're having a one-on-one conversation with them, and they get it. It just like clicks like that when you're leading. The next section is listening. So when you're in the audience, and there's a lot of times when you're in the audience and you have a role when you're in the audience, participate. You just participate. The next one goes right along with it. Just know you're not too like cool for it. Like it's really cool like to participate and to go all out and to be silly and to be fun. You guys are on a team. You guys do not have to have shame with each other about like just being crazy and being fun and silly with the kids. So just know that, and the kids will follow that. Number 3, this is so big. One of the things Jordan and I and our staff, we'll drive around to visit camps. When we do that, it's never from a like checklist at that point in time. We're there just to support you guys, to see the incredible work that you're doing. But one thing that we've talked about is like the thing that changes a camp the most potentially is when a group of leaders are together separate from the kids. So if you have 8 people on your team and 3 people are off by themselves, not engaging a single kid, like they're not helping a kid, they're just like on their phones engaging, like it just changes the vibe of the camp, because the parents are like, what's going on over there? Half the team is like, man, I really wish they were over here. They're just not engaging with the kids, and it can just turn a camp quick. So that's like so important to engage with the kids and to be there. And again, when you're listening, have fun. Like enjoy your friends that are up there and that are putting it all on the line and are dancing or doing a song or doing a skit or whatever it is. Have fun. Our last one is this. Connect in a safe way. These are really important, just to be like, live above reproach, to not be in a place where like anything would be questionable. And these are for your safety as much as for the safety of kids. So these are important to listen. If you were tuning out the other ones, ask your captain to help you on how to engage kids. But everyone, please listen to these. These are really important. Number 1 is realize like you are the adult. Like you are the adults in the situation. We have a host home there and maybe a parent, maybe 10, I don't know. But you are the adult, and we've empowered you guys with that. We trust you with that. Like I can genuinely say that I trust you with that. But you've got to go lead with that. Like you are the adult, and it's your responsibility to go and to lead kids in that way. Number 2 is correcting behavior without being mean. that's like the idea that you don't have to say any like negative, derogatory words, but you can just turn something from something bad, or like, hey, we're just not going to do that. We're going to do this instead, right? If they're doing something where you're not like making them feel terrible about themselves and like shutting them down as a child, but you can move them to something better. I'm still trying to figure out how to do this with my cabin. We'll figure this out later. We'll see. Y'all are great. I love my cabin. They're awesome. Y'all are good. I really mean that. Y'all are cool. That dance last night was good. Number 3, watching your language and what you talk about. Just know that like your language as like a 7th grader or a senior is vastly different than the language of a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old. So like words like crap, right? Like you might say it like all the time, like you just don't do that at camp, right? Those things just like super filter. If there's any question on if the kid would say it and the parent would be okay with it, then don't say it, right? Like there's like an ounce of doubt in your mind, like just don't use that. And then captains like full reign to like monitor that. They're not being a jerk if they say that. It's just like, hey, like just remember we're around kids. We're not gonna say that while we're around the kids. So there's like a whole list of filter of words. I'm not gonna go through all of those, but just think, just kind of have that lens. Like, if this kid said it, would their parent potentially have a question about it? If the answer is maybe, then like we don't need to say it. There's safer words. 4 is ask for help. So something that a parent would love is for us to help, rather than being like, I'm sure I can figure it out or look like it, and then something goes worse. If you just need help, ask a parent, ask the host home, ask a captain, ask anyone for help. They actually really appreciate that humility and saying, I want to do well here. Can you help me? And the final one is just some don'ts. These are the ones I said are really for, a lot of it's for your safety. We just don't run and chase games in the street. It's just dangerous. Similar, but point out obstacles ahead of time. So don't play running games on a driveway. And if there are any obstacles, point them out. Number 3 is don't be alone with a kid. So if someone wants to have a conversation, you can have it right there. You can get on their level. You don't need to go around the corner. You don't need to go inside. You don't need to take them inside for anything. If they want to go inside and show you something, bring a parent with you or have them bring it outside to you. There's no reason to go alone with a kid. That's for primarily your safety. Number 4 is don't take kids to the bathroom. Same thing. There's going to be at least one adult there. Ask that adult to help you out. Ask the host home. Ask their parent. You guys don't need to do that. And the last one that people are sometimes like, oh, I forget. We just not sitting in laps. There's just like some people are comfortable with it, some people aren't, and it can just get weird, especially cross-gender, all that kind of stuff. So we just say like, hey, even if like you babysit them every week and they're there and they would sit in your lap, just for Camp 75, just be like, hey, if they try to go sit in your lap, you're like, hey, why don't you sit next to me for today? Again, it's just for your safety, our safety, and the kids. So that is all in your binder. I think it would be great to like before you went to a camp, like read those like 20 things. Be like, hey, it'll be a great camp. We go and do these things. And they're really helpful reminders. So what I want us to do now, as I said, we're going to have different like types of practice times. For this first one, since we are a little bit behind, we're not going to go get we have like your day 1 bag of stuff. We're not going to go get that right now. Just what I'd love to do before we get to our next session is in a second go out and do some snack and then sit with your team close by, because we're back in here like hard start at 11:15 so that we can finish up on time. But I want you to just assign roles for the week and think through that. So this is going to be the roles that you're practicing by tomorrow, that you're doing in the run-through. So look through the content together and then assign roles. So y'all are good to do that. Assign roles for this practice time. Grab some snack that should be out there in the foyer. And then we'll start here at 11:15. And then Madison Myers' team, y'all are going to find Jordan and JC. They should be at the back.